Thank you very much, and to the men and women who are here today, I just want to say a few words and express not only my personal thanks for what you're doing, but across the country, men and women have come up to me over the course of the last 3+ weeks to relay to you how proud they are of what you're doing and the sacrifice you're making to keep this country safe, and the work that you will do. Thank you for that. You know, I'm reminded of what Ronald Reagan said during a Veterans Day holiday speech in 1988. He said that experience has taught us that preparedness is what deters aggressiveness, and that weakness invites it. And what you all are about is displaying that ability to deter and being prepared in that process. Reagan was talking in a different time and about a different place, but his words are still as powerful and spot on today as they were in 1988. What we've seen over the last recent months is that Washington's continual neglect of our southern border is allowing some very aggressive criminals to use that border to penetrate into our state. And they don't just stop in Texas. The people of South Carolina and North Carolina and Iowa, which are all states that I've been in over the course of the last probably 30 days, they realize that they're not stopping at our border. The Red River is not impeding them any more than the Rio Grande is. And as the Border Patrol is spread even thinner and thinner with this high influx of the illegal aliens, the gaps in the border have become bigger, and you now are the tip of the spear, protecting Americans from these cartels and gangs. And as people understand, as they are able to get past you, they could be headed to any city, any neighborhood in this country, and they're spreading their tentacles of crime and fear. So your message and your mission is very clear: to be that visible presence, to deter the criminal activity, contribute those additional eyes and ears to assist law enforcement and Border Patrol agents along the border. And I think it's time that we stop calling these criminals nice names like cartels and gangs, and call them what they really are. These are narco-terrorists, because they are terrorizing America. Just last year, public enemy number one in Chicago was a Mexican cartel leader who had never even been to the city. What's at stake are the lives of innocent people on both sides of the border, and the safety of and well-being of communities all across this country. So I put out the call, and you all answered. I cannot tell you how proud I am of each and every one of you. I was sharing with both of these gentlemen who are either side of me that we have been through a lot together over the course of the years, whether it was Hurricane Katrina and this massive amount of humanity that was moved across the state. And you all, again, were very, very important in that project and in that process. I call for 1,000 soldiers. 2,200 of you have already said, "Here am I, send me." Thank you for that. But I also tell people that, what'd you expect? This is Texas. It's a place where you give back to your communities. So many of you, over the course of the last, I think, 18 years, have picked up, packed up, gone to the Rio Grande and Operation Lone Star to deliver health care. They saw you last week down there. It's their brothers, their sisters, their coaches, their doctors, their dentists, who also put on the uniform of our Texas military forces and assist in taking care of people. This is an expansion of it. You all are volunteers in the National Guard. You've undertaken this mission that's very critical to the continued safety and success of your home state and of this nation that we love. You have asserted your role in continuing to send that message of neighbor helping neighbor. You've earned the respect and the gratitude, not just of me, but of all the people of the state and of this country now. I pray for your safety, your success, and you will be successful. I've seen you too many times step into the gap and perform admirably. And for that, I say thank you. God bless you. And through you, may God continue to bless this great country we love. I want to ask Colonel MCCRAW to just come say a few words to you, and then we'll wrap it up. And after that, I think we're going to take a few questions from the media, right? Awesome. Great. Colonel Steve MCCRAW.
First, thank you. Makes you proud to be a Texan when other Texans step up to the plate. Governor, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. General Nichols. First and foremost, Operation Strong Safety is to prevent Mexican cartels or narco-terrorists. Their operatives, transnational gangs, criminal aliens, and drugs from entering Texas without being detected and interdicted. And that can be done with your help. We can make the cartels' lives miserable, by robbing the profits they use to coerce and intimidate and attack their own citizens, other cartel members, certainly members on this side of the border, people that we have to live with. So thank you for that service. I appreciate it. Look forward to working with you. You'll find your partners down there. It'll be Texas Rangers, Texas State Troopers, criminal agents. You're also going to have local law enforcement will be your partners, sheriffs, constables, and police officers. And we look forward to working with you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. General, Colonel, thank you both again for your just magnificent work that you've done in the past and what you're going to do on this. With that, we'll open it up to any questions that you and the media may have. Right. I think all of us understand that this is a stopgap measure. We are doing this because the federal government fails to perform its constitutional duty. What I think you also heard from those members of the legislature is that the vast majority of them are supportive of what our Guard and our Department of Public Safety are doing. They understand the importance of this. They understand that the people of the state support what we're doing, as do the people of this country. When I talk about a stopgap measure, this is to be put into place until the federal government can and will do its constitutional duty, which is to put those Border Patrol agents, whatever other law enforcement, or for that matter, uniformed presence need to be on the border until the people of this country and the people of the state of Texas are satisfied that the border is secure and that their communities are secure. We no longer can accept and will accept an event like occurred in Willacy County last week when a Border Patrol agent who was killed by individuals who had been deported multiple times. Representative King had in his district some 5 or 6 weeks ago a young 9-year-old molested by an individual who had been deported multiple times. Texans are not going to accept that continual penetration of our border by criminal aliens who are coming into the state, coming into the country, and doing harm to our citizens. I have no complaint with members of the legislature asking appropriate questions about transparency and about the spending of money. That's their job, and I respect that. Having dealt with them for 30 years and having been a legislator that asked those hard questions myself, I respect that. But these men and women and their colleagues, I have great respect for what they do, for the sacrifices that they make. It's a volunteer force. And we're going to support them monetarily. We're going to do what we need to do as a people and as a state to fund that. I don't know how long that goes, but I know that the people of the state of Texas will support what we're doing to secure that border until our friends in Washington understand that it is their constitutional requirement to fund the border. And I full well expect that the American people, and I suspect that they are going to share with their elected officials, whether they're congressmen or senators or the current administration, that they need to do what is appropriate. Just as the House of Representatives made a good faith effort, Kevin McCarthy and the members of the House, and we expect the Senate to get back into town. I don't know why they took a 5-week vacation without dealing with this issue. Because I'll tell you one thing, the narco-terrorist didn't take a vacation. You all know that, I know that, and Washington needs to know that. Yeah, I think the message has been very clear that this is a federal responsibility, and that we expect them to not only do their duty, their constitutional requirement of them having the individuals on the border, the assets. Again, we've asked the FAA, I'm going to go just a little bit off your question, we've asked the FAA to allow the use of drones to be able to look down 24/7, all kinds of weather, to be able to analyze what's going on, the activities on the border. And they have to date refused to do that. Now, I don't know why they wouldn't allow us to be able to use assets that we actually have in this state. There is a squadron of drones at Ellington that could be deployed, that both the colonel and the general and the Border Patrol could be using. But again, there's not any question about, I don't have a problem asking the federal government to pay for what is their responsibility. Right. Actually, we are funding additional DPS. As you'll recall, the Lieutenant Governor and the Speaker and myself, I think it's been 5 weeks ago now, sent Steve an additional $3 million a week. That surge of Department of Public Safety, Texas Ranger Recon teams, has been in action now for 5 weeks. And as a result of that, we have seen 56% reduction in apprehensions in that area of operation. So I think we've had a good return on our investment in that short 5-week period of time. So the work that's being done, I think is appropriate, and I think we're getting the job done. Well, if a reasonable amount of time, when you think about operations historically, having this group of men and women starting to be in place in less than 2 weeks is less than a reasonable amount of time, in my opinion. When you think about how long it takes military operations of which these individuals work in that category. So I think their ramp up, deployment, actual presence on the border is a remarkably short period of time. We don't actually send the signals to the opposition when we're going to be in place, or for that matter, what tactics we're going to use or what technology we're going to be using. I'm worried about their safety. I'm not worried about anybody's TV ratings. You got the last question. You know, you learn that in journalism school, don't you? When you're the last question, you get 2 parts. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Right. I would refer you to a clip I saw just a couple of days ago. Arvin West is the sheriff in Hudspeth County. And he was interviewed, and he basically said, we got plenty of Border Patrol agents. They're just not on the border. And I tend to agree with him. That analysis is that, and this, let me tell you, these are hard-working, patriotic men and women of the Border Patrol. I know that the Colonel and the General are both incredibly pleased to get to work with the level of professionalism. But it's the people at the administrative level. It's the folks in Washington, D.C. that have deployed them in the wrong places. And I think what they could learn from us is that you need to be on the border. If you're going to have a deterring presence, you need to be on the border, not 40 or 50 miles back or wherever they're stationed. Sheriff West got it right. We got plenty of Border Patrol. They're just in the wrong place. Put them on the border, have them doing their jobs. The idea that what we're doing is politics versus protecting the people of Texas and the people of this country is just false on its face. These men and women know what they're doing. I trust them, I'm proud of them, and I'm going to support them as we get the job done of protecting and defending the border of the United States. God bless you and thank you.